I want to apologize, too, before we go. On the January 9th episode, I always go back and listen to stuff, old stuff, just our stuff. I really don't listen to my stuff. That's old. Our stuff is the only thing I ever listen to. I listen to Matinee, Matt Not.
Okay.
Man, I talk too much. I'm going to try not to.
What are you talking about?
Man, I talked over the top of everything. I talked over the top of me a couple times. I'm like, how am I even stumbling over the top of what I'm trying to say? I talk way too much in that one. I must have had a lot of coffee.
Well, that was the one with your daughter, though.
No, this is the one where we were talking about your birthday. You had just had your birthday, and
it was just us. We didn't have a guest.
It was just us.
Oh, so you're interrupting me.
We did have a guest.
Oh, I see how it is.
Yes, we did have a guest. It was the raccoon.
That's right. We're going to start right there, man.
Go. So that's my bad, dog. That's the way it works.
I'm going to go back and watch it.
You should, and then be mad at me.
Yeah.
Almost mad at me.
But I enjoy letting you just be you, fly.
That's the first time I've ever heard that in my life.
This is Cannonballing Life with Coach and Derek, featuring Coach.
Oh, well.
Featuring Coach Camp.
Yeah,
but also featuring MotivateWithCoachCamp.com.
Oh, and we got SRP Studios LLC.com.
Cannonballing Life at gmail.com.
Woo! That's good, buddy. Hey, guess what you can do? You can go to the Facebook groups, Positive Voices, join up and be a part of that community.
And if you'd like to donate to the cause, we have a Venmo link in the description. It's at Motivate with Coach Camp.
Thank you.
Help us make some shirts. Speaking of shirts, I got my new Motivate with Coach Camp shirt on right now.
Right off the presses.
All right, some quick teases here on some of the topics that we would like to cover today. Coach,
talk to me.
I want to talk to you about Thrive Entertainment making a big old cannonball this week.
I like it.
And I want to touch back onto grappling with wrestling.
Grappling with wrestling.
And how it ties in with what the last 6 months of this transition has been like. Let's do a retrospective, shall we?
It's almost like a metaphor to life.
Yes,
I like
absolutely.
it.
I'm going to tie wrestling into life.
Did you wrestle with that idea?
I grappled with it.
No, you grappled with it. Okay, fair enough.
And Coach, what do you bring to us today?
I'm going to talk about personality test. Woo, this is a good one. You're going to love that. We're also going to talk about those astronauts that were out there astronauting in space. And I would like to talk about this time of year right now, because if you see the tears, it's not because I'm sad. It's because my allergies are on fleek, as they say.
They were astronauting.
Woo, they are astronauting for show. Schnotting.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, glad to have y'all.
Yes.
Good times, yes. That's pretty good.
And we're gonna try at the end of this show. We're gonna try to talk through the entire song again in the outro.
It felt like a rhythm
it's fun.
section. It is.
I mean, it's a radio show when you're talking over the music, right?
I think so. I feel like it is.
Before we get started on these major topics,
okay,
how has your week been, sir?
Man, it's been busy, bro. It's been so busy. You know, I'm still building a house for my mom.
Yeah.
And that's always a headache. It's not so much a headache as the house build, is just getting people there to do their job. So that's all.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
you're babysitting.
It does feel that way at times. And then you're just dealing with people that, it's like, I'll be there tomorrow. And tomorrow comes in, it's not there. I'm like, maybe it was a different time zone. I don't know. Maybe they're in Australia and it's a different day. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, it's been frustrating. But other than that, full swing. Got softball going, teaching at school, house building, got grass starting to grow, horses breaking out, fun stuff, just big things.
You pulled into your place today and realized your horse was just roaming around, wasn't it?
I know, it was doing that, and then it was walking back and forth. And the only reason why I knew is because our big St. Bernard, which I say big's 4 months old, almost 60 pounds.
I love the TikTok or reel you put out there. I think my dog is broke.
I know, he's biting his foot. I'm like, dude, you got food.
He's going to be huge.
He's so hungry. But he was out there barking, and I'm like, hey, that's weird. He's not really that. I look out there, and the horse is walking around. I'm like, we had 900-mile-per-hour winds yesterday and knocked down trees everywhere.
I think it peaked at 920.
Oh, 920. Yeah. Well, let's tell you what, man. My hair was everywhere. Your hair was everywhere. Probably used to have hair, and then it's gone now because of that. Yeah. So how's your week being, man?
It's been good. But to the wind, I just want to add, we got very lucky here in Hernando.
We did.
There was some serious tornadoes that whipped through our region. And my thoughts, prayers, and love to LaShawn Robinson. Her area, no one in her family got affected, but her family is in Grenada, very close to a lot of destruction. So to that area of Mississippi, we hope you're all doing okay.
For sure.
And I'm glad the Robinson family is okay. And love you, LaShawn. You know this.
I love you too, bro.
But so, yeah, he does.
It's a different kind of love, but yes.
Been a good week.
Good.
You know, I can't get around starting with Thrive.
Dude, you've been
Because
sending me
it is my week.
hot spots. I've been sending gifts back because, a gift is the best way to show it.
You know, this is when we...
Cannonball! Yes.
This is the Cannonball featured segment here.
Okay.
Because I made some waves yesterday.
You did.
And I already shared these pictures with you.
I love it.
So I'm happy to announce that Thrive Entertainment has grown. Okay.
It's good.
There's different ways to grow.
Sure there are.
There's monetary gain. Not that.
Yeah.
It's still too early for that.
Yep.
Why? Because I didn't have the physical aspect to this business, and that is a DJ setup and rig, and that is reality now.
You gotta have some products.
I had to figure out a way to invest some money that would yield the tools needed.
Right.
And that's because I'm on the hook. I have things that I've kind of sold and events that I'm pairing and collaborating with people on, and where I'm like, I'll be the DJ for it. So I committed to a couple things.
Yes.
April and June so far, and realized now's the time, dude. Like,
You got to.
okay, you've been selling yourself. Hey,
That's it.
I've been selling myself.
There you are. Very beautiful. Nice.
Knowing that I can do it, and
Sure.
knowing that when the time was right, I knew how to build a modest setup that wasn't going to completely put me in debt for 10 years. I knew I had that confidence where I could start booking things,
Yeah.
but the time came where it's like,
Got to spend money, make money.
got to.
Man.
My
My son said that once, except he was spending money on clothes for himself that wasn't going to make him any money. I said, that's not how that works. But you were buying products to get ready to go. I love it.
Can a handyman fix your porch without tools?
He's not very handy if he doesn't.
No, he's just a man.
You got to go get some stuff.
Probably a good man,
Maybe.
but a handless man.
That's true. Could be.
So,
Yep.
yeah, Sweetwater is my go-to for any gear. All the podcast equipment that you see in front of you, the mics, the board, not the cameras, but a lot of this stuff is thanks to Sweetwater.
Not Temu.
Amp.
You don't go Temu.
No.
Okay.
No. My full bass rig
Yeah.
is 2 bass cabinets, each cabinet with 4 10-inch speakers, the power head. My whole bass rig is through Sweetwater, so it's my go-to. If I have a client, and this has happened before, that is trying to put together their own studio and they need an equipment list, I have a wish list built already on Sweetwater. Here's your bundle.
Yeah.
Go for it. I love them. When you order something within 2 days, you have a rep call you, and it's the same rep each time. Mine is Sam. What's up, Sam?
What up, Sammy?
He's boom, and and you build a relationship with these people. They're there. You can call them if you need something special. There's the point of contact so smooth there. So I go to them as much as possible.
Your very first sponsor.
Yes.
For Thrive Entertainment.
I mean, there's your
Sammy.
There's your commercial.
I mean, bruh, what are we doing? That's your guy.
So Sweetwater is great at bundling things.
Yeah.
So
Like Progressive.
yeah, Home Auto.
They bundle stuff.
Home Auto Life.
Flow. That's what you do.
All right. So the first thing I obviously need are speakers. Duh.
Gotta have speakers.
So you go to Sweetwater and you start looking at speakers, but then you look at the bundles. Okay, these speakers, you get 2 speakers, 2 stands, and bags for the stands, and 2 speaker cables for X. And
Now you're doing algebra.
and it's exactly what I need. I don't want to piece together, let's find a couple speakers. Okay, what kind of stands do I want? No, they just bundle it for you and make it so easy.
That's good, man.
Found a great deal, a good speaker. These are very, I don't want to say cheap. They are the modest in the
Middle of the road.
The modest to low cost.
That's what you want. You want the middle of the road.
Right.
You go too low, it's going to break ezy. Get too high, it hurts your feelings when it breaks.
Mine's in the bottom third.
Okay. Sorry. So it's a little bit above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, I want to keep these speakers, sharp and in good condition.
Yeah.
For as long as possible. So I bought 2 padded bags, like gig bags for
But you
each
don't
speaker.
pack them in each time you go somewhere.
Each speaker gets its own like
Personal
form-fitted kind of padded bag. I think that's what it's called. And then I got lights, man. Woohoo! Now the party's starting, right?
Yeah, well, you're shining stuff.
Sweetwater has these great deals.
Like multicolor spinning things?
Yeah. So
okay, yeah.
I went, again, modest.
Mm-hmm.
They have this thing where it's called a 4-in-1 bar. So it's a tripod. They go straight up, but then it tees at the top. You have a bar that just tees up on the top, and then on each side, there's 2 different lights. Or 2 lights. There's 4 different lights, 2 on each side of the straight up beam.
Mm-hmm.
It all put together. You know, the lights are already on there.
Yeah.
Already, it comes with accessories and bags and everything. So I'm like, done.
Have you already tried this in your living room?
No.
Well, you set up.
Oh, no. It's going to be even better than that.
Oh, what are you going to do?
It's going to be here.
Oh.
But there's one piece left.
On a Cannonball episode.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, why not?
But there was one more piece I had to buy.
Okay.
And I went to Amazon for this one.
Oh.
Because I need a table.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do.
But I need to stand up. So I need a tall table, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, well, then let's get a skirt that goes around the tall table so it's more presentable. And it's like, oh, yeah, Derek, you know what they make? DJ booths.
Oh, they do. There we go, brother.
I found a great deal on, $100 DJ booth on Amazon. And that boy's coming.
There we go.
Purchased.
There we go.
Shipping. So I already have mics and soundboards and all the other little innards and everything. I would say I have about 90% now once all this stuff comes in.
Mm-hmm.
The Sweetwater stuff will be here this week. The booth will be here next week. And then I'm taking this school lobby. We're here at Big Note Music Lessons. I sublease a room from my buddy Manny Zepeda, who's been on Motivate with Coach Camp, by the way.
He has been on the show, yeah.
Go check him, motivatewithcoachcamp.com.
Thank you.
And I'm going to take over the lobby. I'm going to move the table, and I'm going to set up DJ Thrive.
Are you going to do a ribbon
fullest.
cutting? You should do a ribbon cutting.
I have an idea.
Don't forget, you got to do one of your earpieces back. You got to do an earpiece back whenever you do it.
That'd be a cool DJ.
You got to do that. So what's your idea?
My ribbon cutting idea, and this is kind of putting it out in public.
Yeah. Okay.
I've spoken to no one. I've got permission in no way to do this.
It's okay. I'm giving you
It
permission.
involves the chamber, obviously, because it's the ribbon cutting, but it also will involve the Arts Council, this idea. Neither organization has been approached yet. None of this is set in
They have
stone.
now. They're watching. So,
So-
it's over with.
But the dream is to parlay an Arts Council event that already exists
Mm-hmm.
and tie that into my ribbon cutting.
I like it. And they're going to get the refreshments.
So just check it out. You're going to think this is brilliant.
I already do.
The Arts Council hosts hometown headliners.
Oh.
That's when we have live entertainment in front of our courthouse down in the square of Hernando, Mississippi,
Is this on Thursday nights?
every Thursday in September.
That's right.
That's called Hometown Headliners, hosted by the Arts Council. In June, same model, but it's called Sunset on the Square, and that's hosted by the Chamber.
It's hot during that time, too.
It is hot. And the September one is nice because it gets darker, too, so like when the band brings lights, it looks a little better.
That's true.
Well, me and Thrive Entertainment
Yes.
booked the entertainment this year
Mm-hmm.
for the Arts Council and Hometown Headliners. I booked it last year. Now I set up a real sponsor in kind. So Thrive Entertainment is sponsoring, is sort of like the talent finding sponsor.
You are basically,
Right.
you have sponsored yourself.
Right.
I like it.
So I'm already incorporated with the Hometown Headliners
Right.
and the Arts Council in that way.
Mm.
The first band, I can't remember who the first band is. Oh, it is the first band. The first Thursday of September, I booked my buddy Jeff Ward from the rhythm section and his
Jeffrey.
band Generation X.
Nice.
90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm thinking,
Time to bring Derek in.
yeah,
DJ
let's make
Thrive.
that first Thursday of September my ribbon cutting.
It's all
The
together.
show starts at 7, so the band's set up by 6:30. So the photos can happen at 6:35.
It's good. The community's going to be
So
there,
the
too.
band's with me.
Yeah.
I can have me, LaShawn, and Skylar, my mom. You're going to be there.
I have no doubt.
But then whatever other businesses that will be attending my ribbon cutting want to be in the picture. Just get a pile of people up there,
Yeah.
cut that ribbon in front of the courthouse, in front of a stage with live music.
And Channel 3 and Channel 5.
How perfect would that be?
I am actually going to call the news channels. I really am.
Well, bring them.
I'm going to bring them. You know, I have done
Bring
that.
'em, yeah.
There was a stretch of time I did that all the time. I was always on. You're like, you're on the news again. I'm like, yeah, I did some stuff.
How cool would that be?
That'd be awesome. I'm in.
Great.
I'm in, bro.
But in and out of everybody's way. And then while the band, it continues, and even when the band starts playing and everything, great. Anyone that attended the ribbon cutting that's still hanging out, we're still hanging out.
Still hanging.
You know, we can hang out all we want in the front lawn.
That's right.
But just jump in, get that picture taken care of, and then cut that ribbon.
And
then
you're right there.
that's
I mean, you're in public then. At that point, you're also the visual
and people
impact.
By that time, people will be sitting in their lawn chairs with their
right.
Yetis,
Yeah.
already hanging out.
What's this? What's going on here? You get some confetti poppers too. And that'll get their attention.
So first conversations with the Arts Council.
Good.
And then once I run it by Kylie Collins.
What up, Kylie?
You're the best. I think she'll be all about it. Okay. And then once I get that green light, then Chamber's going to be in. All they're gonna say is, "Well, is it cool with the Arts Council?" Yes, it is. Great, and they all know each other. Yeah. That's Hernando.
That is true.
The networking and
put it in all the groups too. Do the pictures.
Yeah,
put it in all the groups.
But just networking in this city has just changed my life.
Yeah,
on a business front, and serving on a couple boards and everything, what you're going to experience with Hope Center.
Yeah,
it's just it's great. Just building relationships with people so you can do fun things like this.
That's right. I can feel the energy, and I'm going to tell you, you hit on something that's very important to me. Mm-hmm. You talk about, hey, I had to have speakers. I know what it's like to not have speakers when you show up somewhere to perform.
That's right. That's right.
It's like, we didn't hear that noise very often either.
You guys want to hear a good comedy show, ladies and gentlemen? He's bombed at 10th inning.
That's right.
Coach Cam.
Yes, here we go.
And then, tell us a joke.
So it's pretty easy to step over it now. Yeah, you don't want to start out too high because then you're just going to fall. So.
Featured on, the comedy stage, Netflix, every Thursday.
That's right. Yeah, I don't see that coming, but okay.
Coach Cam.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you something. So you're shooting for the stars, and I like that. Yeah. And this is a great segue moment. Okay. So did you see they just brought the astronauts back?
I did.
Man, can you imagine? They went up there for 8 days.
I know.
And came back 10 months later.
Did they break a record for the amount of time
I don't think so.
Spent up there?
No, I believe just recently, not too many years ago, there was a astronaut in space for over a year. They were like right at a year. Okay. It was Mark Kelly or his brother.
But that was by design. That was planned.
I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember they come back and it had been a year. And then the person was like, I'd do it again. I'm like, you are nuts. Yeah. Can you imagine living in a closet for 10 months? Oh. That little space shuttle thing got to be about like the size of this room.
And just floating around and just such a foreign.
Your hair always standing all the way up. And
so,
yeah.
Do you know what happened? Why did they get stranded up there?
I wish I had the whole story. I wasn't that interested. I was in the space program back in the Air Force. But all I know is they were supposed to be going up for some kind of little mission. Something got glitched. Thing didn't work. Whatever it was supposed to bring them home, so it wasn't safe. I don't know why America couldn't just get it fixed within a couple weeks. We're going to go up there for a week. Oh, turns out 10 months. Sorry about that. That's our bad. 40 weeks instead of 8 days. I don't get that part, government inefficiency. But, Elon Musk, he sent the thing up there, rescued the people, brought them back. That's pretty cool. And in addition to this, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about, so I'm hearing the story, I'm seeing the people come home, and I'm thinking about, man, there are so many questions I have now. I know they used to have Tang that they would take with them, but you're going to go up there for 8 days. How do you know that you've packed for enough for almost a year?
How do they eat?
You can't go to Walmart. There's not a convenience store. What is your options? Did you just bring so much freeze-dried crap?
I never thought of that either.
You're good for almost a year instead of 1 week.
Do they have Uber Eats, maybe?
I don't know. That would be awesome.
Pretty good.
It's like, hey, look, Mr. Martian, I need some spaghetti. I'm
it's
thinking,
all GPS. It's unmanned. It's just a GPS.
It makes sense.
It's like a space drone.
Yeah. So that was my thought. I was like, how are you did y'all bring enough for like 5 years? It's like, just in case, here's some extra freeze-dried crap. That's the first thing and then the next thing I'm thinking, all right, because, I've never put my mind there, but now you got to go to the bathroom. How you doing all that? What is it? Just float into the space? You just like you peeing and it's just floating up in front of you? Or do you have like a
I doubt that.
You're trying to capture it?
I mean, you're going to pee or poo within the 8 days. So they already have a system for that.
There obviously is,
Of
but I
course,
mean,
yeah.
it's like, all right, so let's just, all right. So
Well,
even if you have a tube with some kind of suction to it, are you sticking like a? This is getting too much. We TMI.
Oh my
but
God.
Do you have like a suction cup on your booty hole? Is it helping you suck out all the booty hole stuff? I'm like, what? What? That does not make
like
sense.
a colonoscopy.
I don't know.
Is this what you're saying?
I don't know. How you getting that into the container that it needs to go into? And then do you just flush it into space? Is it just floating? I don't know what's happening out there.
They have a system for that, though.
I know they do, but it's just like you start thinking, and it's like, now I've gone too far.
They've packed clothes for a week, never mind several months, so they're wearing a lot of the same,
Yeah.
How do they do laundry?
I don't think you are. I think you just stinking. Which brings me to my next thought. If somebody farts in that thing, you can't go nowhere. And does the
that will float in your face.
It's just like up here, and then I don't know what the particles are doing.
That cloud looks like it's going to rain.
Oh my God. So like I started going deep on this thing. I'm like, I gotta get out of my headspace right now because this is really too much.
Yeah,
but
things I didn't think about. Yeah.
And then when they come home, of course, then it's like, now you've been weightless. I didn't know this part. So
The
this is
atrophy must be insane.
So it would be, but I know that there's some kind of exercise equipment in there. So they're required to do so much exercise per day to try to keep their muscles moving, all that stuff. But this part was fascinating. They were talking about it yesterday. Apparently because you're weightless, so your spinal column expands and people come back taller. That was crazy. So then
do they remain at that height, though?
I don't know. I don't know, because now when you come back down from space into gravity, seems like you'd feel heavier. I don't know. You're like an accordion.
I wonder what it feels like to jump out of that little vessel and then feel the gravity.
Well, I know I saw them. They had to pull them out on some backboards and then help them stand to get on a stretcher. So I imagine there's like this acclimation period.
Oh, I'm sure it must be insane.
I just know this much. I was sitting there thinking, I actually got real anxiety the other night. Like my heart started beating fast. My brother was mentioning, he travels all the time, that there was a person in their company that got stuck on the tarmac for almost 3 hours, just sitting there. They couldn't leave. He never really knew why. And that gave me anxiety thinking, sitting on a plane for 3 hours, not moving.
And we've discussed this before.
Yes.
And you don't mind flying, it's the part.
It's the part. And now I'm thinking, now you in this little bitty old peanut in space for 10 months. No.
Missing and not being with your family and just the whole thing.
There's so many other things. Yeah. Those people, they take a special person.
And look, politics to the side. Doge to the side.
Sure.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
Just Elon Musk as our modern day Iron Man.
Kind of is.
Like Marvel Iron Man.
I know what you're saying.
Is pretty amazing. Like to have a guy like this in our lifetime.
Yeah.
In our generation. That can, you didn't say NASA went up. You didn't say some other big business. You can say SpaceX. But no, what people say is Elon.
Well, it's his stuff.
Elon sent up a rocket and took him home.
I mean, like a person, hate a person.
It's like, oh, my buddy over here just grabbed his truck and went and picked up our friends for us. Thanks.
Yeah.
No, the country is like, oh, no, Elon, thanks, buddy, for going up to space and grabbing our employees.
Yes.
We can't do it for some reason. We're NASA. We can't do it.
We put them up there.
Yeah.
Our bad.
Can you go up and get them for us? Sure, no problem.
Yeah, let me set something up real quick.
It's crazy.
It is wild. Look, and I'm going to tell you, forever, I thought it was impossible to have Netflix at my house. There was no streaming. I had no internet. Starlink comes along. I can watch it without interruption.
Boom.
I'm just like, wow.
No, we're gonna get your phone service up to speed.
He does. I don't know that he does phone service yet. So you're right, man. AT&T, Verizon, all them people, they can't seem to get it right over there.
It is just insane that we have a guy that is like Iron Man, the stuff he can build. It's crazy.
And he's very fertile. So
the 14th kid?
Yeah, he's just cranking them out.
Yeah.
I thought my brother became fertile. Whew. This man right here been eating fertilizer.
He had the rocket re-enter Earth.
And land on itself.
Into...
Got you right there, dog.
Like this plier-looking thing. That just... Oh, I hit your camera this time.
Man, that's awesome, dude.
Whoa.
Oh, it's crazy. There it is. So finally, it's not me knocking stuff over.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's
is
so
wild
cool.
stuff.
I am intrigued at how it must feel to the body, even when they're just helping you up and just whatever. Just the overall feeling
heavy.
of the heaviness of just the natural gravity we have down here.
I mean, I feel heavy after a big meal.
Feel like that for them?
I know. It's like I eat a big meal. I'm just like, oh, I can't get up out of this thing. Now you imagine having actually gravity pushing on you.
Yeah.
Like, what the?
It'll push it right out.
That was rough, man. I know. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, welcome home.
Yeah.
To the astronauts. What are their names?
I don't know.
We don't do our research here.
Not on that. I had mediocre interest.
We don't.
Moderate interest. My mind wanders into the stupidity realm. I'm thinking about peeing and farting rather than the actual astronauting that they're doing.
It gave us something to riff on too.
Well,
because it is fascinating.
It is fascinating, and big props to those folks that can do that stuff. I went to one of those. It was in Huntsville. And it was like a simulator thing. And they put you in the seat and it spins you real fast to kind of give you the G-force a little bit to get almost throw up.
Oh,
man, I'd be puking all over that little bitty old pod in there too. So I can't do it. No, sir.
I like my comfort.
Yeah, me too.
I like my dad chair.
First world is where I'm at.
Dad chair is good to go.
Yep, it is.
Over in my astronaut. In my ship.
Yeah, both
because I'm astronauting.
That's right. I look like an astronaut. I sleep with a CPAP now. By the way, if you're noticing,
not totally clean shaven,
but knocked all the whiskers off. Last night was the final straw.
Of what?
Do you have you ever slept with the CPAP?
No,
but you're familiar with them. So it's a mask or it's just a nose piece for mine. Man, my mustache had done gotten so fluffy and that thing was all stuck up here and then I wake up and it's blowing and I'm gagging and then my wife's like, Alicia, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, shut up. I'm trying to breathe. I can't fix it. I don't know where it's at. And then I'm like the whiskers and then the mask pieces was like this. And I said, I got to get rid of this crap tomorrow. I got to get rid of it. So I woke up and I'm like, dang.
So you're going to remain shaven?
No, I'll let it grow for a while until it bother me, and then I'll just shave it all off again. Kind of like Pedro. My face got hot.
Yeah,
Pedro shaved his head off on the Napoleon Diamond. He's like, shave my hair.
My head got hot. Your face gets hot.
My face gets hot, so.
And it looks good at this. When you walk in after blading your face, not cutting it, but just really bick it, as they say.
Yeah,
when you bick it, it's alarming when you're completely baby face.
Yeah, I look kind of stupid.
It's weird.
So I don't like it either. I'm just like, and I had to look that way for a long time because the fire department still got shave and.
Well, you're allowed a mustache, right?
Well, yeah, on the fire department, yeah.
Did you ever just go straight mustache?
I did once. My wife immediately, once it started coming in, she's like, nope, not happening.
Right. Well, you did it for the movie.
Not happening.
You did it for a movie.
She was not happy with that part either. But I could grow a pretty good mustache in about 2 weeks.
I bet.
2 weeks. So yeah,
that's the only thing I could have is a mustache. Yeah, I could get away with that.
Another reason why I shaved it too was because I think it was keeping all the pollen bedded up in here,
up in front of your nostrils.
So I know this time of year can be tough for you.
Yeah, it's very close. It's coming. It's just around the corner.
Yeah. Do you take medicine?
And I know you've said this before.
I have. I'm going to say it again.
You are proactive.
Very much so.
And I am reactive when it comes to this.
You almost look dead active.
And then once it's hit me to the fullest, is then I'm like, okay, let's get some medicine. And it's always too late. But I'll take like Claritin D or something with.
So you got to get on the Flonase spray.
Yeah.
You got to get on Zyrtec every day.
That's it. And that's where the proactive aspect is.
Because you come in here like
yeah, it's coming. I caught myself rubbing my eye earlier today, and then I'm going back to it and feeling that irritation. And it's just like, it's the smallest thing that can trigger it like that. And next thing you know, it's a full-blown allergy attack. So
it is. Look,
it's on its way.
It's a rough time of year if you live in the Mid-South because you got the allergies coming in. And then yesterday, like I said, 900. We topped out 920 mile-per-hour winds, blowing the pollen. It's like big patches of it right in your eyeball, and you're like trying to rub it out. And the pollen is on full. Get it, and then you've got, this is flu season still.
Yeah.
You got COVID out there now floating around. So you got all these things just attacking. And that's why look, this is a public service message, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention.
Listen to this advice, okay? This is advice. We got the measles outbreak popping off. Take your children, put them in a cesspool of germs, and just let them lick stuff and eat things. Yeah. That's why I fight stuff. Now, I can't get the pollen out of here without some medicine help, but I'm telling you, I don't get that sick very often. But, man, I look around, I got friends and they staying away from all these different things, and the kids sick all the time. I'm like, you home again? You home again? See,
so you're saying just put them in a vat of disease.
you got to get exposed. Build it.
You sound insane.
Yes, I know. But I'm just like, man, there's no immune systems out there anymore.
That's true.
I mean,
Because I see it with my kid, her friends, my friends. People are getting just more sick here and there.
it feels that way
It does feel like that.
all the time. And I'm knocking on, is this real wood?
No.
Okay.
This is IKEA wood
Okay. Well, we're going to pretend like
from
it's
the
real.
deep forests of
Knocking on wood, yeah.
Switzerland.
It's been a long time
or
since I've been real.
Sweden.
Sweden.
IKEA is
It's
Sweden.
a very neutral station.
Yeah, in the country of Sweden, they chop down IKEA trees,
Oh,
and this is made of IKEA wood.
you said that very convincingly.
You've never heard of an IKEA tree?
I know about IKEA,
that's
the
right.
store, the store. But yeah, I will tell you right now. I think that there is something going on out there. People are not getting exposed enough. Being in the back of the ambulance, man, I was probably exposed to everything on earth you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, look, I certainly don't want to go down the rabbit hole of COVID and shutdowns and everything.
I don't
but
either,
I mean, at a very extremely large scale, both physically and in time, we as a society hit out for a while.
We did. And I think that probably weakened a lot of people.
All of us cavemen and women found a cave
We did.
and sat in that cave for a minute.
I was still outside licking stuff. Don't take that literally. All right. So what was it you were going to tell me? You were something else you were going to
Yeah,
say.
I want to talk about my new podcast.
Oh, that's right. Wrestling and grappling.
Wrestling.
Come on here, baby. Wrap it up.
Wrestling and grappling. No, it's grappling with wrestling.
Oh, okay. All right. Got you.
Yeah, we talk about grappling and wrestling.
Yeah,
we grapple with the fact that we're wrestling fans.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Grappling with wrestling.
I was thinking about the MMA style of grappling.
Because as a wrestling fan, you're dealing with people that are not fans, and that's usually every other person you know.
This is the first moment that I actually understood what you were doing. And you told me about it a couple times.
Grappling with wrestling.
Yeah, you're grappling with wrestling, not grappling and wrestling. It's all in that word.
No.
And in with.
That would be our co-host names. I'm grappling, he's wrestling. This is cannonballing.
Okay.
No,
Sounds fun.
we're not doing that.
You're not doing that one.
Me and Jeff joke around on the rhythm section. He's razzle, I'm dazzle.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
What was it? Shake and bake.
It's shake and bake.
I could do a shake and
Shake
bake.
and bake.
Yeah, man.
But part of and I talked about this last week, so I'm not going to repeat a whole lot, I hope, but I'm going to tie this into a retrospective piece.
Do it.
Okay.
I'm retrospecting.
But real quick on the Grappling with Wrestling podcast. Because, like I said, you're usually on an island as a wrestling fan. When you're really a fan of the business of professional wrestling, you're very limited to the people that you can have fun with and communicate with. Like Star Wars nerds, you're out there. You have plenty of people. Oh my God. And that wasn't even planned.
That's
Coach
not
is
planned.
wearing the T65 X-Wing.
That's what I got on.
I didn't even know you were wearing that under your hoodie.
You ought to see my underwear.
It was under your hoodie. Oh, great. Death Star.
I know, right? That's what Alicia said.
The Death Star. Because
It's my lightsaber.
when someone starts talking Star Wars next to people that are not Star Wars fans,
They're dorks.
well, I mean, the non-fans don't like cuss you out and tell you to shut up and then walk away because they don't want to hear it.
That's true.
Wrestling.
They just think you're a nerd, but yeah, that's true.
If I'm with my buddy Jimmy and Jacob, my sort of the guys I've done the first run of episodes with, if the three of us are talking wrestling in front of someone that's not a fan, they get rude about it. Like it's grossing them out.
Interesting.
It's a weird thing for wrestling. People either love it or get it away from me. I don't even want to hear the word wrestling. And you get made fun of. You get picked on. We get bullied.
So what do y'all talk about on this thing?
What do you think, Coach?
I would say experiences. It'd be like I was in Walmart and I was over in the wrestling section and I was talking about it and this old woman hit me and said I was stupid.
That's what we talk about?
I don't know.
We talk about wrestling.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
I'm concerned
well,
right now. Am I doing that bad of a job describing what this podcast is?
So you're giving a great description of how people react to it that don't like it. So then y'all just talk about wrestling.
It's part of the genesis and reason why I wanted to build a platform for me and my buddies to talk openly about it in front of cameras and microphones. Are y'all going to bring
little action figures in here and do like some cage matches?
No.
That'd be cool.
But my buddy Jimmy and Jacob own real deal replicas of 2 different championship belts.
Oh, really?
And they came on the show.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That episode's down the road. I've gone way too long on this.
No, I think it's kind of fun. And I'll be honest with you. I'm probably, I always say I'm the unicorn, and we're going to talk about that with this personality test. I am the unicorn because I am the weird middle of the road. Like, I'm not infatuated with wrestling, but I'm intrigued by it. I have a wrestler coming on my show in a week and a half on the Motivate Show.
Downtown Bruno.
So I have a fascination to it. I'm not a big fan and I'm not an anti. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm actually neutral.
And you're allowed to listen to us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Because anyone that's not a fan, they say, I don't like wrestling, then don't even stand next to us when we talk about it.
Don't come over there.
You can walk.
Yeah. So I'm serving.
We don't
something.
Need you.
I'm serving something to someone else. Yeah. So I'm just saying it is fascinating, and I want to take a trip back in time real fast, just touching on wrestling. I thought it was going to be great.
Squirrel pivot.
I really thought it was going to be a great.
Great Scott!
I was waiting on it. So back in my days in the air.
Shut up, eh?
Oh, what? Okay. I had this buddy of mine in the Air Force that we got into working out. We would go to the gym, and he's a big old black guy, man. He had like these big, he's swole up. He's swole. And then I was scrawny. And so we were like a perfect number 10 when we stood next to each other, or 01. Depends on which way we were standing. And he was a huge wrestling fan and a huge Incredible Hulk fan. He was like into some comic stuff.
What you gonna do?
Exactly. And that dude would bring a championship belt if we were doing, quote, max day. And we hit our max weights, and he would walk around holding the belt up. He's so funny. He's so funny. Love that guy, man.
Yeah.
Miss him, but he was crazy. And we had this little thing one time, we were messing with each other, and I took his, I had to show you the picture. I took his little figurine of Incredible Hulk and taped it up on the wall and said, we're watching you, and all this other shit. Anyways, it became a whole thing. It was just so much fun. But you just talking about the wrestling belt, I can picture him walking around the gym holding it up, and everybody's just like, what is going on? He's like, we hit our max. And
you got to put it on.
Yeah.
You know?
It was
you got to walk around and do the Hogan poses.
Yep, you know? That's it.
He does this thing.
I don't know that was big in the 90s. I don't think Rock had hit that part yet. We're talking 95.
Are you talking about Rock or Hulk Hogan?
Oh, I thought the Rock. That Rock was smell what I'm cooking. Hulk Hogan would do that.
Hulk Hogan did the ear thing.
He was doing that.
You need to listen to Grappling with Wrestling and get educated on this stuff.
Sorry, I will. I need to. I got to do a lot of homework. Got Bruno coming in. I don't want to sound dumb. Yeah,
I'll do it with you.
Okay, thank you. I probably need some help.
Anyways, to move things along here, the podcast started as a fun idea that we talked about forever.
Yeah.
Finally pulled the trigger, as I explained last week, because Netflix is on Raw. Now it was a no-brainer to have fun with it.
Good.
Okay? Always knowing that when I create something, like you call it a brand or another entity, but this is another podcast, and if I really see kind of a vision of it, I kind of go all in, right?
You do. You can't. So that's why we do this.
So we filmed for 2 hours. I cut it up into a bunch of chunks, and now I have content that can carry me for 3 months. You know.
So how long are a chunk?
It depends.
Okay.
We just sat down and talked about a different
so
bunch
when
of different
topic
stuff.
Line changes,
when we naturally pivoted to another thing, then when I went back and edited through, I would just cut it out.
Got it.
You know?
Got it.
Because I can't tie myself up too much and meet every week. I can't do that to them. I'm like, let's just get together, hang out on a Saturday, let's talk for a couple hours.
For people know, we do this every week, by the way.
Yeah.
Every week we have to
talk about
Cannonball!
Yes.
We wanted to bring timeliness.
Great Scott!
and not weirdness. We filmed this less than 24 hours before publish.
No, the weirdness is still happening.
This is Thursday the 20th.
Yeah.
If you're listening on Publish Day, as you should.
Comes out tomorrow.
We just did this yesterday. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. Where was I?
Let's play the tape back. And you were talking about the chunks and how you had done those things. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm breaking into the production side of things. Eventually, I promise I'm going to tie this into sort of the story of the last 6 months, but it kind of dawned on me because I'm always battling do you have time to add, to create another new entity, right? And it depends.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is.
Just like diapers.
And I believe in this wrestling podcast so much that I'm calling it the path to 25. We can think of a different thrive in 25, and that's been our theme, right?
Yeah, and you're doing it.
I'm building, grappling with wrestling, just like I did with the Real Hernando and the Rhythm Section podcast, to be a sponsored podcast. It will happen. I have that level of confidence in it.
I have no doubt. It's a niche market, so whenever the word gets out there, people will be drawn
I will
to it.
start interviewing. I already have some connections to some like real deep indie wrestlers and wrestling communities and groups here. And then you got Memphis Wrestling still. That's still an independent show they have there.
It is.
I'm going to start spotlighting wrestlers.
Cool.
And really dig into that community, much like the other podcasts I do. It helps it grow that way, and I will get to the point where it is sponsored, mark my word. But
I have no doubt.
But I know in order to get to that point, you got to go.
You got to just go next.
Much like the equipment that I was just explaining how I had to buy.
Yes.
At some point, you got to go. So I just realized that now I'm creating something new, and if I don't start it now, it's going to take 25 days to get number one, which now it's 50 days later before I hit 25. You know what I'm saying? It's like times now.
Times now.
Because I say 25 because it's a round number. It's a nice number. It's 25 cents.
It's this year.
It's this year. And as a podcast host and producer and just the life of a podcast, it does all its nice formative growing in that 25 weeks. Changes,
Makes
updates.
sense.
You're tuning it to a certain degree, building an audience. And now this is where it ties in with what the last 6 months have been like, because the whole time thing. Do I have time for this?
You do. Go backwards in time.
I do now.
Oh.
Because we're several months removed now from all the craziness, Coach. We've talked about it before on this show.
Color's still coming back more.
You saw it.
I did. I witnessed. I was
you
with
were there.
I was in the boat.
Yes, I technically moved locations in November of last year, but it was a long time leading up to that of confusion, stress,
stormy waters.
Just what am I doing? And then thoughts of I'm losing my studio completely, to getting some help, and then landing this opportunity to be here with Manny. So all of that was taking my attention away.
It was.
I had this idea for this podcast throughout all of that, but I knew I couldn't pull it. I couldn't pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Well then, okay, now we make the move. Okay, you know how that is. You see me go crazy, and every week I'm like,
put up one picture. All 50 are up. All 50.
But then it comes to tuning the studio. That's the hardest part and the most frustrating. So that's why, quite honestly, this ties in with Cannonballing Life, because the reason why we're back on video is because I wanted to use this show as a guinea pig.
Yeah, it's guinea.
I need to film an episode on these cameras and audio in my room and figure out the backdropping, and I need to start testing it all out before it looks close to what I want.
Yeah.
But then we had so much fun doing Cannonballing. We're like,
can't get rid of
we're
that.
not only going to be religiously doing it every week again, but it's back on video each week, and we have not missed an episode this year.
We haven't.
We haven't missed a week.
People need this.
That's right. They're dying for it.
Need that.
All right. The move. Okay. Everything's tuned. Okay. I got Cannonballing Life now systemized.
Boom.
Locked in. The new season of the Rhythm Section podcast has now been launched. We're 5 weeks into it. It's all systemized, back up and running. The Real Hernando systemized. I got Neil Colley, another local client,
Rocking.
the local yokels, dialed in. And because of this wrestling podcast, it put all of that in perspective. Like, now is absolutely the time.
Now is the time.
It's absolutely the time.
We must go.
Do
it.
If I wait any longer, it's purely because of some weird excuse or just being lazy. Because if I want to continue to build content that I own and get sponsored, you got to build it before they come.
That's what they say.
You have to jump on it. So I'm like, now's the time. So this grappling with wrestling thing, having done the real Hernando and then the rhythm section, there's some things I'm pulling from each, things I want to do different, because I'm always going to make it so it's a little more slick on the amount of time it takes me to do it.
Yeah.
There's things you can do to shorten your labor. I have to be mindful of my time.
Those kind of little corner cuts just come with experience.
Like the video editing is basic. I have a nice overlay, and you're going to see like a picture-in-picture of me, Jimmy, and Jacob talking, and that's it. It never cuts. It never goes camera to camera like this episode.
Sure.
Or this podcast, you notice it's just me and Coach side by side, picture-in-picture. I honestly do that as a way to make it a little easier for me, because this clearly we talk about our Venmo. Cannonballing Life is not sponsored. You know, me and Coach just do our thing on our time, and then I do all the production and social media and all that stuff just because I love doing this.
Yeah, and people need to see our faces without looking away.
It's a must.
So it never has to cut, so you don't have to edit. People just like, I just want to stare at them.
Yeah.
I just want to stare at them.
But those are the little things I can do where I don't need to hire, I don't need my editors to do any of my own stuff. I've built it all and systemized it all enough to where I can do it all.
Yeah.
Now.
And no doubt. And do it well.
Well, that's up to someone else to decide.
I'm deciding.
All right, thank you.
I've made that decision.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. But I manage all that by each podcast has its own production system, and how can I budget my time?
Yeah, and I want to give you credit on something here, because you're going deep on how you had to time manage everything, which is important. I want people to know this. This is a real moment. I like to be funny, but I also like to be real.
Right on.
Because I keep it real. You really do go out of your way, though, to cater to Coach Camp whenever I have a guest that can only fit into a certain timeline on a certain day, and I send you a request, and it may not even be on your calendar. If you can make it happen at all, you will do it. And that means a lot, because that also not only shows me that you're sensitive to my guests, but you care about the product. And you do that, man. You do that. You fit things in when you can.
That's one of my favorite things to do. It's why it's been so awesome working with you.
Yeah.
You know, my first local client, if you really want to sterilize it in that way.
It's pretty sterile.
It's pretty sterile. But we're not a client. I'm not your producer. This is kind of just, it's our thing.
This is our thing.
You know, this is our thing.
This is actually metaphorical to everything that you do and I do in life. It is, cannonballing is more. Yes, it is more than just a thought and a statement. It is an action. And we do that every day. And this personality test shows me why I do it.
Well, let me just button up.
I want you to button.
Let me just button this up.
Because you need to take this test.
Yeah.
You need to take this test. But go ahead. Button them things down. Zip it up.
But anyways, Grappling with Wrestling on Facebook at Grappling with Wrestling Podcast. That was a lot of words.
I'm grappling with it.
Hey, did you know the Grappling with Wrestling Podcast is on Facebook at Grappling with Wrestling Podcast? Did you know that, Coach?
I did. Jeff and Chris did.
Jeff and Chris and Coach.
Both of them. All three. All three people.
See, this is when I need to stop talking. But I thought it was an interesting way for me to just kind of process out loud what the last several months have been like.
That's important.
It does feel good when you kind of find yourself on the other side of a cloud.
Oh, 100%.
Does that make, Man,
my guests are always about that.
Yeah.
Motivate with Coach Camp, that's what we do.
Things still are scary in certain ways, but now's the time.
Let me tell you, how many things did you learn going through all those storms that's going to make you better now? That's what this is about, man.
Yeah, just everything to rebuilding a studio in a different room and the whole thing. And then if I can connect Thrive Entertainment and SRP Studios, if I can really build my DJ business, because that's really, Thrive Entertainment's also to help find talent for events.
Yep.
But I'm really building this as a DJ business on the front. If that can do well and help and start paying my bills and not have to then draw a penny from SRP Studios, oh my God, that's a dream come true. That's a vision I've had forever when starting the second business, because then SRP can kind of heal itself.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like I'm not drawing. It's self-sustaining. I'm not drawing money from it, and it can just heal itself.
absolutely.
And then eventually I can then have the leverage and power, I guess, to then maybe even start cutting back certain things and go more local than online. So
I think you will. And the name is getting out there. The growth in all areas are there. Becoming known about something is happening just this week, and sometimes good and bad. My daughter's getting in some kind of trouble. I won't sell her completely out because I do know what the trouble is. But there's a teacher getting onto her, quotation mark, not going to say all the names, but another teacher comes up and she's like, oh, this is Maddie Camp. Her dad does the podcast. So I'm just like, the knownness of what we do is out there,
funny.
even in a bad moment. It's like great to be associated with that. MC dog. Yeah. Way to bring that into
the story about Wes Joyner being my daughter's substitute teacher.
It's funny.
And
yep,
right in front of all of her friends in the class.
Got old
I came up because of our podcast.
That's it, man. I love it. I love it. It's a good time.
But anyways, thanks for letting me riff on my two things today.
You riffed it up. We're a rhythm section.
This is sort of like therapeutic for me as well.
And
to kind of just process through this stuff.
Look, let's be honest. In a couple of recent weeks, you showed me what a rhythm section is. I didn't know what that was. Educational to me. And now at least I understand better the wrestling scenario of your podcast. The whole time I thought you were going to talk about grappling sometimes, and sometimes there was some wrestling. And then
our first episode, we each talked about the types of genres and decades of wrestling we grew up with. The next one was on the Montreal Screwjob.
I don't know about that.
Then last week was CM Punk and the Pipe Bomb. I don't expect you to know these. The wrestling fans do. And then the one coming up, if you're listening to this on published day, the new one dropped yesterday, and it is about, it's CM Punk and the Pipe Bomb. That is this week. Anyways, Monday Night Wars. We talk about Hulk, Ultimate Warrior. We have one where we're going to show the belts that they bring. We have one that we talk about a match between Sting and Hulk Hogan. We went 10 minutes on that just organically in conversation. I clipped it out, threw it out there.
Yeah.
We talk about a specific match in that episode. So that's grappling with wrestling.
Jerry Lawler gave me something that he probably doesn't know he gave me, but he gave it to a lot of people. And that is the strap down.
Yeah.
And if my brother got me mad back in the day, I pull, sometimes my arm all the way out, boom, strap out, go time.
I mean, it's...
Oh, yeah!
Don't let the strap come down. Don't let it happen.
The animal's coming out now.
That's what's happening.
All right. Enough of me, Coach.
Okay.
You did something.
I did.
That I know nothing about minus the headline.
Yes.
Tell us what that headline is.
All right. So let me set it up a little bit.
That's a long headline.
Oh.
Coach took a
personality test.
Ta-da!
Nice. Let me set this up, though. Imagine that you've lived your whole life and you have these things about you. We'll even call them symptoms. And you don't know about what the symptoms, why they're there. You don't understand it, but you just know it is. And then some people even exploit it or talk about it. And you're like, I don't feel like I can change my symptom. It is what it is. So you just go through your whole life with this understanding only that you have these things about you. But it's never been diagnosed.
Right. Everybody says, yeah, I got ADD.
Yeah.
Everyone says it.
It's not been diagnosed. It's not got a name. Yeah. You just don't know what it is. But you just know you can't do anything about it. It's who you are. And then one day you're at the doctor, and the doctor's looking over your stuff, and he's like, oh, you got this. Oh, you got this. Oh, then you have blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. And all of a sudden you go and you look, and you read about that condition, and everything about the condition is you. And you're like, that makes sense why this happened. That makes sense why my eyeballs bugged out one time. And all of a sudden it brings clarity. And now it actually is therapeutic in its own way because it gives you a better understanding of who and why you are who you are. And
how to treat certain things. The different kinds of treatments.
Good.
Medicine, exercise, diet.
The acknowledgement and recognition. Okay. So Alicia. You don't know her? You ever heard of her?
I've heard of her.
Can you quit slinging that nasty fly swat around?
Yes, ma'am.
Mother
That's her.
of Maddie.
Mother of Maddie.
We need a sound for Maddie.
Yeah, I'll get something. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Recently, it's been...
Get her rapping without her knowing it.
Oh, well, she did rap that day.
Oh, that's right. I should go and
Pull
clip that out.
something out of there. So, Alicia sends me this thing, and it's like 10 minutes long. So I'm like, all right, I'll take it. And it's just bubbles. So it's like all the way up to strongly agree, all the way down to strongly disagree. And there's like 2 or 3 in between. So you can kind of, gauge how agree or disagree you are. And it's a whole bunch of questions, a whole bunch of different areas. And I really methodically thought about the question and was being totally honest, even if it was like, I'm thinking, yeah, this is probably accurate and it's not flattering. So I was just very real with the whole thing to see what it said.
That's the point.
It comes out and it says that I have the ENTJ commander personality type. It says that I am extroverted, intuitive, thinking, and I have great judging traits. And I am in the top 3% of anybody that has this. It's an extremely rare personality trait. And my first thought when reading this was, holy crap, I have joked that I'm a unicorn forever. And it turns out I'm actually a freaking unicorn.
Yes. Woo.
It is incredible. So I took the liberty to highlight all these things, but then make notes. So I want to talk to you about some notes. So some of the things it says is that I have a passion for teaching. I'm an instructor. I am a professor.
Okay, before we move
and a
forward,
coach.
You're not writing anything in. It's just picking a.
It's picking a personality type. I'm bubble snapping.
Right. Yeah. I'm saying, the bubble snapping. That's it. I'm saying. So there's no way for the test to know that you're a teacher.
No way to know.
Right. That's what I'm getting to.
Absolutely.
You're not writing little bios and adding information. It's just pushing bubbles, ranging from suck to awesome.
That's
so just automatically, the first thing it spits out is you must be a teacher.
No, it gives your personality trait what it would be aligned with.
A teacher.
And it aligns with being loving teaching, loving public speaking, loving being a CEO, being in charge of stuff. It says that I'm blunt yet honest. What was the other thing I wanted to bring
I need
up
to take this now.
Dude, it is so incredible. So I'm just going to go to the last page. I'm going to go to the last page because there's a lot of stuff.
So did it print out like explanations for each thing?
Yeah, and then I wrote in what it all talks about. And so here it is, the final line. There's so much we could talk about. I could go deep on this.
We need to bring this back next week because we're running late.
All right.
Bring this back next week. We're gonna continue with this personality test because I want to do it.
Yeah, let me read this one passage and we'll close on that.
Okay.
All right, so it says, this is the problem with my personality type, is that my skills and my assets take time to be recognized, that people don't always recognize it because it's very unique. It's out there, right? It says, stagnating as a low-level employee will have me bouncing off the wall and feeling deeply unhappy. I can't be a minion. I can't sit there and file papers all day. I'll go freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And then it says this personality type craves responsibility, growth, opportunity, and genuinely enjoys managing others to get a job well done. They're visionaries, leaders, not a grunt, not a day-to-day administrator. And in the end, once a person recognizes your talents, it is impossible to stop you. Bro,
Whoa.
this thing nailed it. Know what I'm saying? There's so much in here, and I'm like, I know who I am now. I know who I am.
You already knew.
I thought
you just
so.
got reaffirmed.
I did, got reaffirmed.
Yeah.
It made sense.
Well, I want to take that.
Okay.
I want to do that we don't have to stop immediately because I thought we teased this at the front end, and I don't want to leave people hanging too much. But next week,
Okay.
Coach, I'm going to take it.
Okay. We'll make some strong notes on how we see it.
Yeah, and we're going to go chunk by chunk. Okay,
Man.
we're gonna do our personality tests next week.
Life changing. This thing
Is it
was
just a link that you email me or
Yeah, I'll just email it.
email it to me? That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. It's so accurate. In fact, there's a line in here, and I don't know if I can find it right away, but it says, "No, we haven't been following you." And it's like it has all these things. It breaks down.
Yeah.
We have studied. This group has studied personality types with all these different organizations for however many years, and they just understand the things that you answer the way you answer it. It just knows. It's talking about me being extroverted and stuff. And then Alicia took it, and it's all about her. It's like being introverted and being very methodical and liking like very difficult tasks so that you can work your way through it. It's I don't know. It's like black magic. I'm gonna say it's black magic.
I'm afraid of what mine will say, but I'm gonna be brutally honest in mine. Like I really want to see how it ties in. It's really cool.
Some of the negatives resonated. Like I can be so.
What's a couple?
So I lack emotional intelligence sometimes with certain circumstances. It says a person that can't talk fast and keep up with fast thought, I will find them sometimes boring and may even be rude to them. And I'm like, it really is that way. Because if a person's just like dragging or they're saying stuff that is just crazy, the words that come out of my mouth are not intended to be mean. But I do realize looking back, it could be taken as being abrasive.
So what would that abrasiveness sound like? What would you say?
It depends on, I guess, the conversation. You know, I could think of some examples, I guess, if I gave it a second. But
it's you kind of, and I'm not saying you do this because I fall in that category as well. And my brain is spinning. Get to the point, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you might give a dismissive attitude?
Something like that. That's one way.
Like, pleasantries. Oh, sounds good. That's really funny. Haha. And then you just kind of run off to do your next thing type of thing, or just
tune them out.
Yeah.
I'll give you one quick example though. Like in my class, when I start the whole very first day, when everybody comes in, I say I have 2 rules. Don't be late and don't suck. I mean, being so blunt to say don't suck, but then having the students be able to embrace that. That's the other part of the personality type I have, is that the leadership style that presents is people are drawn to it rather than repel from it more often than not. So once a person starts to understand where my heart really is, then the abrasiveness is taken more as a constructive criticism, not a detriment. And people buy that. They want that.
But when they learn your personality on a deeper level, they see the humor in it.
I hope.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I know I do.
Yes. But sometimes
I know you very well, but I don't think that it would come across as foreign to a stranger. I think you just have this ability. Like I've seen you give speeches in front of strangers, the Hope Center stuff. I've seen it. They don't know who Coach Camp is. They don't know what they're going to get. Yeah. I know what they're going to get.
Right.
They don't know what's coming yet. And when they get it, they all have, this common reaction to it. And they're excited. They laugh.
They do.
You bombed when you tried to be a comedian.
Because I was trying to do something I wasn't being true to.
But
authenticity matters.
But you're funny when you're just doing your thing.
Right. So ultimately, it is incredible how accurate it was. And I'll just tell you, forever, I always kind of thought maybe I'm just a little off or quirky, but it turns out it really is a characteristic. It's a personality trait. It's not something that I was trying to do or not do. It is just authentically me. And apparently, you only can see this with this personality type if they're comfortable being themselves. And man, I always have been. Oh, okay. As always.
Yeah. I mean, let's revert back to some pictures we've posted on this show in the past where you have
please don't
braids and
that's right,
cut off jean shorts with long johns underneath, and
those days my mama ain't proud of it. It's already happened.
Well, send that to me.
Gonna do it. Sure. As soon as we wrap this thing, I'm sending it to you so I don't forget, because I also have short-term memory loss.
Say what?
Yeah. There it is. What
was that in your
Cannonballing?
No, in your write-up, this thing that it spit out, did it have anything about short-term memory loss or
not really
paying attention?
I think it's just age.
Anything in there as far as attention span?
I'll have to look back.
I know you mentioned you can come across abrasive.
Yeah, it's one of those words.
We haven't hit this one.
We'll talk
about it next week.
I need to talk to.
We'll dig deeper into that next week.
Right, no doubt about it.
Did you all know you can go to motivatewithcoachcamp.com?
I did hear
click
about that.
Click into the website and find all the links to his Facebook and Instagram and Apple and Spotify and all the episodes. Did you know that?
Some people do. Yeah. I bet some people also know you can go to SRPStudiosLLC.com and go over there. Check it out. He's got, 15, 25 different podcasts that you're rocking.
Sure.
I love
all kinds of stuff on there.
You got a lot of stuff in there.
And then you can communicate with us, people.
Do it. How would they do that, though?
They would email us at
cannonballinglife@gmail.com. Woo!
And then Facebook group. Where do they
it's
go,
called
Coach?
Positive
You're the
Voices.
only, you need one that I need to talk to.
Positive Voices.
Positive Voices, yeah. The link is in the description.
Thank you.
It's a Facebook group
good.
that Coach started, which is almost at 900, by the way. Have you
wow.
looked at it recently? It's growing, dude.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's wild.
I
It's
love
not
it.
easy to grow a group,
Yeah.
especially when it's dedicated to being positive.
Right. That's true.
You know, the Hernando Happenings groups and whatever city you live in group,
Angry, mad.
they grow quickly because they love
million.
train wrecks and dumpster
Absolutely,
fires.
yep. Jerry Springer.
And then again, if you want to help the cause here,
Do it.
we would love a tip here and there. Pretend we're a music duo.
Yes. We're singing.
At
beautifully.
Motivate with Coach Camp in the description. Y'all have a great show. We'll see you next time.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.